Motion 001. It is hard to become a doctor in the U.S. It is resolved that it is hard to become a doctor in the U.S. How to become a doctor? What does a doctor do? What are doctors' salaries? How to prepare for a doctor career? What are medical school courses and requirements? Why is it so hard to get into medical school? Who is the ideal medical school candidate? Are there different types of medical schools? How long does medical school take to complete? What are the requirements in medical school? What is a residency? What is a fellowship? You should pause the video clip for 5 minutes. Work on your own or in the group. Debate format. The team debates are the core of the World Scholars Cup. In the debate, you'll have 15 minutes to research your arguments, with full access to the internet. In the debate, each speaker will have up to 4 minutes to speak. Also, you should know that the debates are on the format of showcase debate, meaning no interjections are allowed. The structure of the debate: first speaker, first affirmative speaker. Second speaker, first negative speaker. Third speaker, second affirmative speaker. Fourth speaker, second negative speaker. Fifth speaker, third affirmative speaker. Sixth speaker, third negative speaker. The last speaker from each team is not allowed to add new arguments. Debate preparation. WSC debate. Each team debates 3 times, on motions across all the subjects, from policy to poetry. You may be arguing whether parents should have access to surveillance cameras at schools, or whether women make better superheroes. Debate is your chance to apply all that you've learned to make the most persuasive case you can. And, win or not, after each debate, you'll give the other team feedback on how to improve. Each of you will speak up to 4 minutes. But first, you'll have 15 minutes to research your argument, with full access to the internet. Use your time, and choose your sources, wisely. WSC website. The debate event seems to be the one that causes the most anxiety amongst students. However, by using the debate templates to practice with, students can gain confidence. Debaters in WSC are given a debate prompt and then have 15 minutes to prepare. By using the templates below, debaters can fill in the content of their debate into the structure provided. The first time they debate, you can allow them to read off their template, and the more times they practice, the less they will need the template. Debating activity instruction. Listen to the information related to the motion. Work in pairs to discuss about the topic of the motion. Discuss with your teacher about the topic of the motion. Write down an essay to discuss about the topic of the motion. Debate in the front of the class. Answer the questions of your classmates and your teacher. You should use hamburger template to structure your persuasive essay. Outline explanation, structure of a 5-paragraph persuasive essay. Introduction, 3-5 sentences. Hook, grab the reader's attention with a quote, scenario, question, vivid description, etc. must be related to your topic. 1-2 sentences. Thesis statement, simply and clearly state your position on the issue, 1 sentence. 3 arguments. Choose 3 arguments you can use to convince your reader of your position. Briefly state these arguments here. 1-3 sentences. Paragraph 2, 5-8 sentences. Go back to paragraph 1 and find your first argument. Then write a paragraph about it. Use specific examples to support your argument. Write a transition sentence. Paragraph 3, 5-8 sentences. Go back to paragraph 1 and find your second argument. Write a paragraph about it. Use specific examples to support your argument. You should use authoritative websites to give facts, statistics, supporting quotations, studies, research, etc. Write a transition sentence. Paragraph 4, 5-8 sentences. Go back to paragraph 1 and find your third argument. Write a paragraph about it. Use specific examples to support your argument. Write a transition sentence. Conclusion, 3-5 sentences. Summarize, restate your thesis statement and 3 arguments in different words. Make a closing statement. Tie your closing statement back to your opening hook. The hamburger template applies to the paragraph too. First sentence of the paragraph is the topic sentence, then 2 or 3 argument sentences. The final sentence concludes the paragraph and introduces to the next paragraph topic, if any.
Model answer 1. It is not very hard to become a doctor. For a smart, hard-working person, becoming a doctor is the easiest part. Go to school, do well on your exams, get good grades, do some more time in medical school, graduate and done, you are a doctor. The hard part is what comes next after you become a doctor. Medicine is a lifestyle choice as much as a career choice. There are things you have to come to terms with from an early stage. You stay in university a lot longer than anyone else except perhaps PhD students. But they often get paid a stipend, you don't. You are still on loans and you don't earn a cent even whilst you are in the hospital from 7 to 7, 5-6 days a week. Your friends in banking who had worse grades than you probably have nice cars, a house and twice-a-year holidays. You are studying for your next exam. It's the same story after you graduate too. You earn reasonable amounts, but because you stuck in uni for 4 extra years, your debts are double to triple your banker mates. What you earn initially will always seem subpar to another professional who started working a few years before you. And no, you are not done with exams either. Needless to say, you need to be well adjusted to not keep comparing with others. You will miss family and friends, miss dinners with your significant other, or be late for anything and everything important as the patient or hospital needs you. Relationships are hard to keep. Even when you explicitly tell your new partner that the life of a spouse of a doctor is terrible, they will still say they can handle it as they are in love. You would be lucky if they stay strong and can always handle it. Many can't and don't handle it very well. Divorce rates amongst doctors are amongst the highest in the professions. A presenter at a seminar I recently went to surveyed a number of doctors near retirement, and the majority stated they regretted not spending more time with their family. You will run into the habit of putting family after your work as they always seem to forgive your lateness or absenteeism. All this comes at a price later on. Just remember this point. When you do finish climbing that ladder, you learn of this thing called the admin, the insurance company and the magical P. This is the shit that stops you from doing the job you love the way you want. One way or another, they changed you, slowly. This is just another battle you have to face. Okay, enough cynicism. If I haven't scared you off yet, I just reiterate that there are many things in medicine that will drag you down, and what I have mentioned is only the most obvious ones. Medicine and being a doctor is a lifelong process, and it never stops being difficult, whether within medicine or outside of medicine. But just remember there are many other protective factors too. For instance, the patient-doctor relationship is one of the most satisfying things out there, and many doctors describe this as the single most enjoyable aspect of their career. If you have not started down this track, I recommend binge-watching the first 3-4 seasons of ER for a rough idea of the challenges doctors face every day and the emotional aspects of being one. If you still decide to embark on this journey, I wish you all the best. Model answer 2. I would not choose to be a doctor if I had it to do over again. I would go into astrophysics and enjoy astronomy, or possibly become a professor. Saving lives is a strong draw, and every kid dreams of being that person who rescues others. Or maybe they don't, but I did. The full-on sacrifice of an important decade of your life, your 20s, and the enormous debt paid off by age 40 could be forgiven if medicine was what it should be. When you are smart enough to do anything in the world, and when you are an ultra-conscientious high achiever, it is very, very difficult to see your world controlled by people who are in every way intellectually and morally inferior. I know that sounds horribly arrogant, but if you have ever been bossed around and threatened by a bean counter who is obsessed with his own power, you will know exactly what I am talking about. Politicians who don't know what DNA stands for, who couldn't read a statistical analysis if their life depended on it, are controlling the entire system based on a lust for power, control, and money. Doctors are so intensely obligated to their work that they do not have the time or the emotional energy to fight back. The armor folk are officious suck-ups who count out the powers that be. The credentialing organizations are unelected powerhouses with the authority to charge you mandatory fees and determine your right to practice. It is really getting ugly. And as for me, having had personal health problems, the job itself is very inflexible. There are few to no options for part-time hours. Model answer 3. Why is it so hard to get into medical school? Over the past decade, the number of med school applicants increased by about 25%. Because of the ultra-low acceptance rates at the highest-ranked institutions in the US News Best Medical Schools rankings, some of which accept less than 4% of applicants. Many aspiring doctors wonder why it is so hard to get into medical school. This is especially perplexing, given the barrage of news stories about doctor shortages in rural communities and low-income urban neighborhoods in the US, and the constant public discussion about an extreme scarcity of physicians in certain medical fields, like primary care and psychiatry. Statistics from the Association of American Medical Colleges reveal that there were more than 10,000 more applicants seeking admission to a U.S. med school during the 2018 to 2019 school year than there had been 10 years prior, a roughly 25% increase over the 10-year period. Medical schools deliberately have a rigorous vetting process that is designed to ensure that anyone they admit is capable of passing tough medical courses and enduring demanding clinical training. No matter how many applicants are competing for spots in medical schools, these schools typically have high standards, and they want to identify the best and brightest students. While some may think they would have been better off pursuing another profession, scores of doctors are incredibly happy they chose a career in medicine. Taking into account all the pros and cons, becoming a doctor was ultimately worth it.
While you are preparing your own arguments, listen to the following information to help you with brainstorming activities. Medical schools set up a great number of hoops for applicants to jump through: a prescribed undergraduate curriculum with numerous prerequisites, the MCAT exam, a complex and multi-part application, traveling to interviews, exhaustive days interviewing, and a constant requirement for professionalism throughout. Demand for a medical education is near an all-time high, so the typical pre-med student should expect to face stiff competition. People really want to become physicians. And now more than ever, he says. I would say this is especially true of the millennial generation. And I can tell you that, here at our school, we hear from high-quality applicants every day. And these are people with really high MCAT scores and GPAs, that this is their second year, third year, or even fourth year applying to medical schools. And years ago, they would have gotten accepted the first time through, but the demand is just incredible. Young people are especially eager to find work that allows them to have a positive impact on society. And the emphasis on science, technology, engineering, and math in contemporary U.S. schools has boosted the number of people who want to become doctors. The current millennial generation, their desire to serve and give back is really incredible, he says, adding that Generation Z, which is just starting to apply to medical school, also shows a strong interest in public service. U.S. high schools and colleges are doing a better job of engaging students in science classes than they had in the past, which is spurring an uptick in interest. U.S. medical school enrollment has expanded significantly since 2002, with class sizes rising by about 30% during that time period, according to the AAMC. But Jason Farr, Senior Vice President of Recruiting for the Medicus firm, a healthcare provider recruiting company based in Texas, says the U.S. doctor shortage has multiple causes that have nothing at all to do with the number of spots at U.S. medical schools. One important factor, he suggests, is the significant number of U.S. doctors who are at or nearing retirement age. Another factor, he says, is that contemporary doctors are more eager to find work-life balance than their predecessors in past eras. And many doctors are unwilling to put in the long hours that previous generations of physicians did. Data from the Kaiser Family Foundation indicates there are slightly more than 900,000 physicians practicing medicine in the U.S. Yet, behind this number is a crushing need for still more doctors. A 2013 report from the American Association of Medical Colleges projects there will be a national shortage of about 46,000 to 90,000 physicians by 2025. Joining the ranks of doctors to fill this shortfall requires a substantial amount of time and effort. The following guide explores the steps to become a doctor, reviews medical school admission requirements, discusses medical school training, and offers an overview of physician careers. How to become a doctor. Developing the skills and knowledge necessary to practice medicine requires a great deal of time and effort. So it is important to research the training process before taking the plunge. The following section outlines how physicians prepare for their careers. Step 1. Complete an undergraduate education. Medical school admissions boards require all applicants to earn bachelor's degrees from accredited colleges and universities. While there is no specific undergraduate degree recommended for all medical school hopefuls, the College Board lists pre-medicine, biology, and exercise science among potential majors. Step 2. Pass the MCAT examination. College juniors interested in a career as a doctor should register for and take the Medical College Admission Test, MCAT. The MCAT is a standardized, multiple-choice examination used by medical school admission committees to assess a candidate's likelihood of succeeding in their program. Step 3. Apply to medical school. There is no required timeline for applying to medical school. Students generally begin the application process during the summer after their junior year in college. But some choose to take a year off after completing their undergraduate degrees before applying. Most medical schools in the U.S. use the American Medical College Application Service, AMCAS, a centralized application processing service from the Association of American Medical Colleges. Students select their target medical schools and submit a single application to AMCAS, which distributes the application to each institution. Step 4. Complete training at medical school. The path to becoming a physician begins in medical school, which generally requires 4 years of full-time study beyond one's undergraduate studies. Curriculum is divided between classroom-based instruction in the sciences and clinical rotations where students develop applied skills in various areas of medicine. Step 5. Pass Parts 1 and 2 of the United States Medical Licensing Examination, USMLE. In order to practice medicine legally in the U.S., students must take and receive a passing score on the United States Medical Licensing Examination, USMLE, a 3-part examination taken during and after medical school. Medical students must pass the first part of the examination, which covers basic medical principles before entering their 3rd year of studies. During their 4th year, Students must pass the second part of the exam, which covers clinical diagnosis and disease development. Step 6. Match with residency. During their final year of medical school, students start narrowing down their medical specialty options, e.g. pediatrics, anesthesiology. They submit an application for residency and are matched to open residency programs throughout the country. Step 7. Graduate from medical school and start residency. Newly minted doctors transition from graduate school residency programs. These programs generally require at least 3 years to complete and provide in-depth training in students' chosen specialties. Step 8. Pass Part 3 of United States Medical Licensing Examination, USMLE, and finish residency. The final step of the residency process is to complete Part 3 of USMLE. This examination covers clinical management and assesses the doctor's ability to practice medicine safely and effectively. Step 9. Earn board certifications. Once their medical educations are complete, doctors may obtain certification in their chosen field. There are 24 specialty boards that certify physicians in hundreds of specialties and subspecialties. Board certifications require a written and, in some cases, an oral examination. Step 10. Get a state license. Medical licensure is governed at the state level by state boards of medicine, and each sets its own licensing requirements and procedures. Trained and board-certified doctors must apply for state medical licenses before they enter the field. Step 11 APPLY for JOBS. The final step to become a doctor is securing a job. Many doctors begin their search during residency. It is common for residents to transition into full-time positions after their residencies end. However, some doctors choose to go on the open market and seek out career openings. Other physicians are contacted by recruiters to fill a position. What does a doctor do? Doctor career basics. Physicians and surgeons are authorities in the practice of medicine. They assess patients, diagnose diseases and illnesses, and treat a variety of conditions. They may order and perform tests and use those tests to diagnose and treat their patients. Surgeons also perform operations and more complicated invasive procedures on patients. Doctors and surgeons work in a variety of settings, from hospitals and private offices to health clinics and schools. Doctor careers. In-depth medical doctors are required to earn a Doctor of Medicine, MD, from accredited schools of medicine. They must complete 7 or more years of rigorous training and earn a medical license to practice medicine. Doctors specialize and treat patients in a variety of areas, such as radiology, oncology, internal medicine, anesthesia, pediatrics, psychiatry, surgery, and gynecology. They use their medical knowledge to diagnose and treat illnesses and injuries, prescribe medications, perform diagnostic tests, perform surgery, and counsel patients on healthy living behaviors. They may delegate some tasks permitted by law to other professionals, such as nurses or nurse practitioners. Doctor salaries and job growth. Doctor salaries across the U.S. Medicine is one of the highest paying occupations in the country. In fact, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that doctors account for 45% of the 20 highest paying jobs in the country. Average salaries easily surpass 6 figures, with some surgeons and physicians able to command salaries greater than $400,000. Numerous factors influence doctors' earning potential, including specialization, education, and location. Preparing for a doctor career, medical schools and pre-med programs. Undergraduate studies are important for students preparing for the rigors of medical school. Because no specific major is required to be admitted to medical school, most universities do not offer an explicit pre-medicine major. Most students enroll in other disciplines that can provide the experience. Admissions boards seek and qualified applicants. 2 of the most common majors with a pre-med emphasis include biology and chemistry. Medical school courses and requirements. Medical school is a major undertaking that requires dedication and hard work to complete. Learn more about what medical school entails, what students experience during their programs, and what happens after they graduate. Who is the ideal medical school candidate? There is no universally ideal medical school candidate. Medical school students come from diverse backgrounds, but most begin directly after finishing their bachelor's degrees. Their undergraduate educations vary. Some students study the sciences, e.g., biology, while others major in the humanities, e.g., English. Medical schools seek candidates that bring diversity to the workforce, are sincerely committed to service, and have an unyielding interest in medicine. Attractive candidates should be analytical thinkers with good problem-solving skills. They should be strong communicators who can establish relationships with others and make challenging decisions while under pressure. Are there different types of medical schools? There are two types of medical school programs in the United States: allopathic, MD, and osteopathic, DO. Both programs take a similar approach to curriculum. However, osteopathic programs place a greater emphasis on holistic and therapeutic treatment techniques. How long does medical school take to complete? Medical school curricula traditionally require 4 years to complete. Then students assume residencies that last at least 3 years, but can go upwards of 11 years. Some doctors may go on to complete additional years of training and a fellowship. What are the requirements in medical school? Although specific courses can by school, medical school curricula generally follow the same 4-year format. The first 2 years focus on the fundamentals of body structure and anatomy, with coursework in biochemistry, gross anatomy, human organ systems, infectious diseases, and pharmacology. During this time, students familiarize themselves with the role of the physician by studying ethics, health law, patient interaction, and medical examinations. In order to move to year 3 of medical school, students must take and pass Step 1 of the United States Medical Licensing Examination. This test ensures students have learned the core scientific fundamentals required to practice medicine in a competent manner. During the final 2 years of medical school, students participate in clinical rotations in primary and specialized care settings. Clinical rotations serve as an opportunity for students to apply their classroom-based knowledge in real-world, supervised experiences with patients. In order to graduate and move into a residency, students must also take and pass Step 2 of the United States Medical Licensing Examination. Step 2 assesses the candidate's medical knowledge and clinical science skills. Once they've completed their core curriculum and clinical rotations, medical students move to the residency phase of their training. What type of courses are taught in medical school? Diagnostic tools and testing. In this course, students are introduced to diagnostic tools used in pathology, radiology, laboratory medicine, clinical epidemiology, and other areas. Students study diagnostic information and learn how to develop systematic approaches to patient care. Skills gained: ability to select appropriate diagnostic tests, interpret and analyze diagnostic test results, use clinical knowledge to evaluate specific screening tests, human structure and development. This class serves as a foundational introduction to human anatomy, a basis for understanding the central concepts of bodily function. Topics of study range from nervous and endocrine systems to digestive and articular systems. Skills gained: use of proper anatomical terms, ability to visualize structural relationships in the body, interpret radiographs, CTs, and MRIs, foundations of cells and molecules. Students study the fundamentals of life science, learning about the relationship between pharmacology, biochemistry, cell and molecular biology, and genetics. Skills gained: knowledge of fundamental cellular processes, genetic factors for health and hereditary disease, clinical techniques for molecular biology research or clinical epidemiology. This course asks students to use research literature to answer a clinical question, teaching them to evaluate research articles and discuss medical information with the context of practicing evidence-based medicine. Skills gained: statistical analysis, knowledge of research, study design, critical use of research, critical care. In this class, students receive a practical learning experience in the treatment and care of critically ill patients, including an educational review of the clinical principles of care. Skills gained: care principles in acute care settings, conducting rounds, case management. What is a residency? As they near their final year of medical school, students begin preparing for residency. A residency is a 3 to 11-year training program where doctors receive specialized professional training guided and supervised by experienced physician educators. Residency length varies by specialty. For example, pediatricians participate in a 3-year residency while urologists have 5-year residencies. The residency matching process takes nearly a year. Students submit applications through the National Residency Matching Program (NRMP), a process that matches them to open postgraduate residency programs. To complete their programs, residents must pass Step 3 of the USMLE. This examination tests the candidate's clinical assessment and management knowledge and skills. What is a fellowship? After finishing their residencies, physicians may choose to complete fellowships in their respective specialties, such as oncology, cancer treatment, or neurology. Doctor career concentrations: medicine offers many different practice options. The American Medical Association lists more than 200 specialty categories, and the Accreditation Council for Graduate Medical Education more than 140 specialties and subspecialties. Examples include allergy and immunology, anesthesiology, critical care medicine, gastroenterology, orthopedic surgery, and cardiology. Read more about 5 different career specializations for graduates of medical school. Family physician: median salary $192,120. Family physicians provide general medical care to patients in clinics, hospitals, private offices, and other medical settings. They diagnose and treat illness, including acute and chronic health problems, and provide preventative care services. These services include immunizations, health screening tests, and annual checkups. In cases of serious illness or disease, family physicians collaborate with other medical specialists to arrange appropriate care. Anesthesiologist: median salary $248,100. Anesthesiologists are specialized physicians who administer and monitor anesthesia for patients during diagnostic and surgical procedures. During these procedures, anesthesiologists monitor the condition of the patient, including his or her consciousness level, body temperature, and vital signs. They may also monitor neurological function along with blood pressure and oxygen levels during neurologic procedures. Once a procedure is complete, anesthesiologists coordinate with post-anesthesia nurses to ensure the patient recovers comfortably. Pediatrician: median salary $183,180. Pediatricians are physicians that treat children across the lifespan, from birth to young adulthood. They are concerned not only with the physical care of children, but their emotional and social development as well. Pediatricians provide a wide range of services, from preventative health, e.g. immunizations and health screenings, to the diagnosis, assessment, and treatment of serious illnesses and diseases. Surgeon: median salary $247,520. Surgeons treat patients with acute problems in different body areas, such as the digestive tract, skin, or abdomen. General surgeons use minimally invasive procedures and techniques to treat conditions ranging from thyroid disorders to tumors in the breast. Some surgeons specialize in specific areas of medicine, like oncology, pediatrics, organ transplant, orthopedics, and trauma. Internist: median salary $196,520. Internists provide complex medical care to patients dealing with both common and chronic illnesses. Working in offices or hospitals, internists diagnose and treat diseases that impact the circulatory, blood, digestive, stomach, cardiovascular, heart, respiratory, lungs, and endocrine, kidney, systems. They also perform wellness checkups, provide preventative care services, and may treat patients facing other issues, including substance abuse or mental health problems. Components of a successful doctor career: skills, credentials, tools, and technologies outlined by the Association of American Medical Colleges. Medical students should develop a collection of specific competencies to succeed both in medical school and in their chosen specialties. Skills: professionalism, the ability to handle professional responsibilities and tasks in an ethical, safe, and sensitive manner. Patient care, providing compassionate, appropriate, and effective patient care. Practice-based learning and improvement, dedication, wanting to learn more about the practice of medicine, the latest best practices within medical care. Medical knowledge, robust medical knowledge and how it can be applied during patient care. Communication, interpersonal skills, and the ability to communicate effectively with patients, their families, and other medical professionals. Credentials: the American Board of Medical Specialties is a nonprofit organization that works alongside 24 specialty boards to ensure professional standards are maintained within medicine. Doctors can earn board certification by satisfying set training requirements and passing a written and/or oral examination. Once certified, doctors become diplomates of their specialty board. Within those 24 specialties are hundreds of subspecialties. Below is a sample of some of the certification areas available. Specialty: subspecialty anesthesiology, pain medicine, critical care medicine, internal medicine, infectious disease, hematology, family medicine, geriatric medicine, sleep medicine, pediatrics, pediatric cardiology, pediatric pulmonology. The bottom line: the need for quality healthcare is expected to increase well into the future. There are many occupations that someone learning how to become a doctor might also be interested in. If you're looking for a job with less stress, dentists and optometrists earn relatively high salaries, but don't have quite the level of responsibilities as surgeons. Or if the education requirements to become a doctor seem daunting, physician assistants and registered nurses have an easier road to certification. Medical schools and doctor career resources: prospective doctors have much to consider before they pursue medical training. Because of the time, commitment, and cost involved, it is essential that students research potential medical schools and learn as much as they can about the field and its specialties. The following resources provide valuable information about the healthcare industry, medical training, and doctor careers. American Medical Association. The American Medical Association is the largest membership association for doctors, physicians, and medical students. American Medical Women's Association. The American Medical Women's Association is a membership-based organization for physicians, pre-medical, and medical students, residents, and other healthcare professionals. Association of American Physicians. The Association of American Physicians is an organization for physicians with more than 1,300 active members in the United States, Canada, and other countries. Association of American Physicians and Surgeons. The Association of American Physicians and Surgeons is a professional association for physicians from all specialties and types of medical practice. National Medical Association. The National Medical Association is a nonprofit association that represents the interests of the more than 50,000 African American physicians. Medical schools and pre-med programs. Search tool: medical school is competitive. The latest figures from the Association of American Medical Colleges reveal only 39% of applicants are accepted into medical school. For example, in 2015-2016, the University of Arizona received 5,667 applications but only enrolled 117 students.